You know, I was ready for bed. And then I found out that a Cowboy Bebop trailer dropped. If I was smart, I wouldn't even be recording this until the next morning. Because I'm not going to get the video out until tomorrow or for you today. But the thing is, if I don't watch it and film my reaction right now, then, well, there's no way I'm not going to watch it before bed. Then I won't have a reaction video out of it. And if I'm going to look at this thing, you know what? I'm dang well going to react to it. Quick reminder. I have seen Cowboy Bebop. All of it, including the movie. I did a podcast on Cowboy Bebop. Bebop. You can tell I'm tired. I did a podcast on it, episode by episode reviews. I have a video on Council of Geeks talking about it. In short, I think it is good, but also overrated. Because something can be good and people still praise it more than it probably deserves. I get that it's a good foot in for people who might not otherwise be into anime, but there's a number of things I don't like about it. And more than anything, I hate the recurring villain. I hate Vicious so much. Part of it has to do with the fact that I actually find Spike to be the least interesting of the characters. And, he's tied to Vicious, so it bigs up Spike, which... fine, whatever. But Vicious is just such a terrible character. Again, watch that video I linked to earlier to find out why. And I know he's in this because he's been in promotional material up to this point. Let me also say, I have enjoyed, to varying degrees, the sort of teaser stuff that they put out so far, which was very clearly not comprised of footage that is actually in the show. So they did a recreation of the animated version of the opening credits. They did a very cool video that was like them, the three main characters, Faye, Jet, and Spike, like shifting through settings and like pulling on things like suddenly to change where they were. It was very, very cool. It also wasn't footage from the show itself. So haven't really known what we were going to be dealing with, but there's a trailer now. So let's take a look, shall we?
So what brings you back from the dead?
A week ago, I did a job, a bounty. I had a partner, believe it or not.
He know what you used to be? Will I ever see you again?
They tried to kill me, Anna. If you need to find me, I go by Spike Spiegel these days.
Had to kick in. I like that the music prior to this was evocative without being lifted directly.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, that's good.
In this solar system, if the cops and the bounty hunters don't get you, the syndicate will. There's no happy ending here.
Spoken like a man who's never been in love.
I was.
What happened?
I was dreaming.
I'll tell you why I'm kind of doing the big size a
What do you
little
say,
bit.
fellas? You want to team up? I was thinking a 60-40 split. Going my way, of course.
Do not shoot her.
Please?
No.
Also happy to see Ein. Oh,
What the actual fuck?
We're a team. The three of us. Go grab some bounties.
Please, I just want to kill her a little bit.
God damn it, Spike.
It's jam.
You good guys. Or bad guys.
Depends on who you ask.
okay. So there are things in there that give me a little bit of hope and things in there that make me go, I mean, you heard me go, I didn't talk too much over it because it was a lot to take in. It came very fast. So here's my main concern. With something like Cowboy Bebop, especially, I don't think it's something that, in my mind, makes sense to adapt direct. In other words, to take the stories and do them again. Because since it was episodic, and again, personally, the one main thread that kept coming back, i.e. Spike's Past and Vicious, I freaking hated. I really would have liked them to drop that altogether. But the main thing is, like, since it's episodic and most of the individual episodes don't directly feed into any kind of overall narrative, there isn't a need to retell any of the specific stories that have been told previously. And I had hoped, vainly, and I didn't really think this would happen, but I had hoped that they would do stories in the vein of Cowboy Bebop, but weren't just the same things that were done in the anime. Except I spotted a lot of really specific stuff from really specific episodes. Stuff that was very clearly from the opening episode. We had looked like the teddy bear bomber, and so they lifted that. They had Pierrot LeFou, which is the best episode of the entire anime, and is an episode that freaks the hell out of me, and they're gonna wreck it. They're gonna get it wrong. Because I looked at him float up, and I'm like, that's already wrong. It looks ridiculous. And again, Pierrot LeFou is an amazing piece of work. Again, reference my earlier video, but to see all these really super specific things pull up, I'm like, oh God, you're just taking a selection of the best loved stories and you're just doing those. Okay. That to me, well, here's the thing. Here's what keeps it from being the most lazy option. Because I was almost going to say that's the laziest way that you could adapt something like this. That's not true. The laziest way to adapt something like this is to very literally try and recreate it right down to all the lines of dialogue and have the match as close as possible and have the shots really be mimicking shots from the show and to just lift all the same music. And like, look, I fully expect them to pull the theme song, but I actually took some hope from the fact that the music we heard initially was very in line with Cowboy Bebop, but I did not recognize that as a track that appeared in the show or the movie at any point. And that's the kind of thing I want. Now, granted, I'm singling out a piece of music, but also visually, all of it lines up. It fits. I'm like, yes, that looks like a live action version of Bebop. It does. But it wasn't recreating the specific visuals, the angles, and like it's not pulling a Zack Snyder's Watchmen on us. And that is good, because that to me would have been the absolute worst option, because at that point I would just say, what's the frickin' point? It's not doing that. And if I'm going to be super generous, maybe it's possible that even the specific things that I have singled out that I know I recognize are still going to be done in a slightly different way so that it's a little bit of its own spin. That's possible. However, I am not going to hold out hope for that. Like, especially when you're adapting something that is already freely available in the market where you're taking it to. Like, this would be one thing if Bebop had never been translated into English and broadcast in America. But it is one of the best known animes in the States. So doing something so directly when we could just watch the original and get this. And that, again, that's why the presence of Vicious ticks me off so much. Aside from the fact that I hate him, it's like, but you could tell there are so many ways to tell thematically similar stories, tell the same core stories about these same characters without having to literally repeat the things that were in there before. I think the best hope I can have is that that's a minority of episodes. That may be like, I don't know how many episodes there are, but like in theory, if there's 9 episodes, 3 of them are direct lifts and the rest are a bit more of their own thing. I don't actually think that's the case, but I feel like that's the most hope I could allow myself at this point. And again, I understand that I'm going to get accused of naysaying and I'm going to be said I'm a party pooper. I'm going to be told, why'd you even watch the trailers? Like, because despite my thesis statement being that it's overrated, I do like Cowboy Bebop. And I've been curious to see this, not excited, but curious just to see if maybe they'd surprise me with this one. And it doesn't look like I'm going to get that. I'll still check it out at least the first couple of episodes when it drops to get a handle on it. But I don't know if I'll do the whole thing. I don't know if I'll review it. If it feels too much like deja vu, I'll probably give it a miss. But we'll see. And again, this is me. If this excites you, if this is exactly what you want, I am happy for you. But I'm a grumpy bugger who has a lot of very specific ideas about how you should or shouldn't approach adaptation. So what are you going to do? Well, what I'm going to do is say whatever your thoughts are. Drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Like, share, subscribe. Consider supporting me on Patreon. I'm getting my butt to bed. And yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. Like, take it easy. Relax. We try and take a relaxed attitude around here. So come on back next time you need a break. I need one. Good night. And look at you, sticking around through the credits. I appreciate that. Well, you know what? You're about to be treated to a whole ton of names going by on the screen, but there's a few of them that I want to give special attention to. My special thanks to Bookworm, Jared Boyce, MJ, Tracy Scrabbit, Vincent Paul Bartolucci, Kaylin Schwartz, Edelin, Hannah Acker, Robin Moore, Ross Schultz, and Shay Lagurle. If you want to hear me mispronounce your name, check out the reward tiers on the Patreon. But for right now, thanks so much.